And so today, I am glad to announce that the Congressional Progressive Caucus has adopted an official position to hold ICE accountable. Our caucus members will oppose all funding for immigration enforcement in any appropriation bills until meaningful reforms are enacted to end militarized policing practices.
Starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
Protests continue in Minneapolis after a woman was fatally shot by an ICE agent. State investigators were in the area speaking with residents.
Minnesota investigators are going door to door in Minneapolis at the scene of last week's deadly shooting by an ICE agent. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension says it's collecting its own evidence after the FBI took charge of the investigation.
The violence, the complete impunity with which these agents are operating, we need to make sure that these people are not masked. We need to make sure that there is real accountability in all of these investigations.
It comes as DHS doubles down on defending the officer who fatally shot 37-year-old Renee Good, arguing he acted in self-defense. The agency says it's deploying more federal officers to Minnesota to protect other ICE agents.
Was this done to be anti-government and to try to change the behavior of ICE? And if the answer is yes, then sure, that's domestic terrorism.
But it's prompting criticism from some Democratic lawmakers that the administration is trying to, quote, cover up the shooting. Language the White House says could lead to more violence against federal officers.
President Trump and the entire Trump administration stands firmly with the brave men and women of ICE.
As the investigation continues, protesters gather outside a federal building in Minneapolis demanding accountability. The Trump administration says it's made more than 2,000 immigration arrests in Minnesota since the operation began last month.
Now, speaking of people that may or may not have required a breath test at the Golden Globes last night, we saw the usual virtue signalling by actors and actresses who do as I say, not as I do, and like to parade their moral and their superiority across us all, that we should all just be more like them as they donned the pins on their dresses to mark. It was Wanda Sykes, Jean Smart, and of course Mark Ruffalo, our everyday favourite of Let's Be Left Wing and Tell Everyone About It. But they wore Be Good pins, and this was a nod to Renee Good, who was, as I referred to earlier, the woman that was killed by the ICE agent after she attempted to run him over. But they also were wearing general anti-ICE pins, so anti-immigration control pins. So we know where all of those on the left stand when it comes to anything to do with the Trump administration, anything to do with Western values. We know where they stand. But again, do as I say, not as I do. There may be no smoking regulations all over the place. You're not allowed to have a cigarette pretty much anywhere these days, except if you're Sean Penn. And I think we've got some vision of it here. You know, I actually love this. Good on you, Sean. He just doesn't care. He's sitting next to Leo, who I think bought his mother for a change. You know, he's gone from the very young girls to his mother. You know, clearly kindergarten wasn't out that day. But you know, I love that Sean's just gone, bugger it, I'm just going to light it up, have a fag.
Real
Good on him.
two-fingered salute to all the wokedom that was drenching the Golden Globes, and will drench the Academy Awards next month as well too. But as you say, it's, you know, these are people who live in these gated communities, you know, immunised from the real world, and they feel, well, let's use this to promote myself, to show everyone how good I am. Because I mean, I reckon if you'd actually pin them down and ask them to explain what happened during that ICE raid and why that woman died, none of them could actually tell you what
happened. They'd only
happened.
be able to tell you what CNN told them. But I'll
how
tell
it
you,
affects
if
them.
anyone wants to know, we had a joke last night about the shoot, shag or marry. Yeah. All right, Bill Maher, you are my man. We have this fabulous clip, and if you've ever got to love a lefty, you got to love Bill Maher.
Mark Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes also wearing a Be Good pin for Renee Good, obviously, and trying to use this platform for activism. Do you feel that's effective or no?
Oh, come on. We're just here for show business today. It was a terrible thing that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. And if they didn't act like such thugs, it wouldn't have had to happen. But I don't need to wear a pin about it.
I just love him. He's just getting better and better with age and more on the money. Finally, a lefty who actually understands this is nothing but virtue signalling, and absolutely not the place for do it while they're all walking around in their $20,000 Tom Ford tuxedos. I mean, for God's sake.
We're not here for a lecture.
Kill me now. And I mean,
we are. That's what it's all
seriously.
Well, they're there. Some of them are there for the lecture.
Maybe them, you know, as they're putting their pins on, should be imbibing in what Bill Maher does when he does his own podcast, and it might make them all slightly more bearable.
I mean, you said before about having a breath test. Probably more applicable to give them a nose swab, I would have thought, at some of these events. But you know, he's nailed it. It's a piss up to celebrate television, right? That's all it is. We don't want to.
We don't want political statements.
What your politics are.
These award ceremonies are not mutually exclusive from that now. That's what they've become.
I know.
They're platforms for politics.
I did like, though, on that note, the fact that his name just totally. I'm having another one of these senior moments.
Leo.
No.
Sean Penn.
Ricky Gervais. Gervais. I can't believe I forgot the name.
Oh, my God.
Who won an award yesterday at the Golden Globes.
Oh, they would have all had a heart attack.
For his last Netflix special comedy show.
Is that Mortality?
And yeah, Mortality, correct. And so he won a Golden Globe for that. And there were digs at him from a number of the presenters last night because, of course, remember when he was hosting whatever the other one is.
The Oscars?
Yeah, that one.
Coming from the senior here,
yeah,
I'll
I know.
help you out.
Look, I'm not. I must say I don't follow these awards things terribly closely.
Neither do I.
But I do know.
I miss the Britney Spears T-shirt.
but when he was hosting the Oscars for 5 years in a row or whatever, he made jokes constantly about shut up, sit down, we don't want to hear from you.
Wasn't that great?
So it's a great up yours, as is Sean Penn lighting up a dart. I just love that, you know.